And they're more than halfway through a campaign now, which could yet see them go all the way and win that first league title since 2011. Spezia's injury crisis continues. They're still missing their top scorer Mbala and Zola, and fellow striker Roberto Piccoli. So Kevin Agudelo deployed as a false 9 again. Ricardo Saponara is back from ban for this one, whilst Nahuel Estevez and Adrian Ismajli also come in for them tonight. Referee is Daniele Cifi, 36 years of age. He hails from Padova. VAR is Paolo Mazzoleni. As for Milan, Davide Calabria is banned, so a start for Diogo Dalot at right back. Simon Kjaer back in the heart of defence, replacing Fikayo Tomori. Ismail Benacer is into midfield tonight, and a return to for Hakan Çalhanoğlu, playing behind top scorer Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But Ante Rebic is out due to a knee issue. An enormous test this for Vincenzo Italiano's side, but they do have a giant killing reputation. One team with ambitions of survival, the other with aspirations for the title. Momentum is building again for Stefano Pioli. So we're underway then. Spezia against Milan is a mismatch in terms of history and pedigree, but tonight they share a stage in Serie A. Milan hoping to avoid any sort of shock here tonight, and hoping to secure 3 more points in the pursuit of the title.
It's imperative, really, isn't it, in any game such as this? Spezia stay in the game for as long as possible. You've mentioned, Joe, of course, about the giant killing credentials. They're going to be at their absolute best to get anything from this game, and as we saw there, maybe a mistake would let them inside the Milan defence.
Their first ever season playing in Serie A. They've had some notable scalps, and Pioli will be aware of that. He'll be aware of their threats. The Milan do boast an outstanding away record. Won 9 of their 10 away games in Serie A this season. They put 4 past Crotone last weekend, and will look to continue where they left off in that game at San Siro. Here's Agudelo, the Colombian. It was a surprise seeing him as a false 9 against Sassuolo last week, but he did well to hold the ball up. And he's up there again as the focal point of their attack tonight.
It's a huge task, isn't it? Obviously, physically, up against Simon Kjaer and Romagnoli, does give away a hell of a lot in that regard, but the pace of Agudelo is there and hopefully on show for Spezia to cause Milan problems.
There's Giulio Maggiore. Given away by Ricardo Saponara, who is back in the team after serving a suspension. There's Dalot playing at right back. Calabria suspended. And here's Ibrahimovic. 3 wait for a ball in. Ibrahimovic took the low road. It was cut out by the first defender. Wasn't his fault, was it?
No, it's not a bad ball. It's a poor pair of runs there. keeper's pointing out in the 89 box. Possibly right. I think the ball up to the back post may have been the only one that he had the real option with by the end of it, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but obviously telling Leao about what he wanted from the movement of the players in the box.
You could do with a loudspeaker, Zlatan, to play with and let people know what he wants them to do. He rules the roost. I suppose you can when your numbers are as healthy as his. Up to the 500 goal mark in his club career last weekend with that brace against Crotone.
Staggering, really, isn't it? The type of numbers that we're talking about. Yes, there's the Ronaldo numbers and the Messi numbers, of course, but what Zlatan Ibrahimovic has done across different clubs, he's travelled, he's put himself out there to be judged, and more often than not, he's really come up trumps, hasn't he?
He's picked up 31 trophies along the way, and he's still hungry for more. Simon Kjaer there, who's back in the heart of the defence this evening, coming in place of Fikayo Tomori, who had deputised pretty well. Kjaer, who's missed the last couple in Serie A after the injury against Inter in the Coppa Italia last month.
Pays off strength in depth, doesn't it, if it's a club that's fighting on several fronts, as Milan are doing. So Tomori deputising for Simon Kjaer, but it does feel like Kjaer and Romagnoli is that ideal partnership, isn't it, for Stefano Pioli. One in midfield really does intrigue me as well, with Franck Kessie and Benacer today. Tonal is the other part of that particular mix-up, isn't he?
Here's Maggiore for Spezia. The hit there, that touch. Maggiore, who's come by the youth system, so one of those who's come through the ranks at Spezia, who have done wonders just to get into Serie A. They came up by the Serie B playoffs last year. Minnows, in truth, compared to the might of Milan. Donnarumma towards Ibrahimovic, but he couldn't make that ball stick. Gyasi went in there for Milan, and here's Manuel Gyasi, who is one to watch, the number 11. Got the winning goal, but Sassuolo last weekend, 2 in his last 3 games. This is now Estevez, Argentinian. To chase for Agudelo, who's ever willing. Watched there by Romagnoli.
Just a sign there as well of the pace of Agudelo, dragging Romagnoli out of that central part of the Milan defence. That's what they're going to have to try and employ to get either down the sides of that formidable middle partnership to get the ball into the box. Just take by Estevez from his goalkeeper, a sign that not afraid to play out from the back.
This is Luca Vignali looking to hold off the attentions of Hernandez, and he was wrestled there by Hernandez, and Spezia have a free kick, and they can be, as I mentioned, a set-piece threat.
Imperative that the quality into the ball is good. The most discreet piece of defending we'll see this evening.
He scored a fine goal, Hernandez, in the reverse fixture back in October, which Milan eventually won by 3-0. But they're defending here. And Vincenzo Italiano's team seized upon this chance. Estevez with the ball in for Spezia. There was a bit of room there for Gyasi. Not the easiest chance to get some power behind that.
It was a tough one, wasn't it, just behind him, but a sign there, though. They got a half a yard of space.
Agudelo again, busy and lively, and suggesting he was fouled by Hernandez, but that time there was no whistle.
It's a tough one, wasn't it, because there is obviously a size discrepancy between Hernandez and Agudelo. It looked like he pushed him to the ground illegally, but the referee deemed it not so.
It's Benacer. Shabanolu. Just win a free kick. Big boost for Milan to have him back fully fit once again after Lengthy recovery from COVID-19.
Certainly does tick the box for the man that provides the assist, doesn't he, for Milan. I can see what Agudelo's unhappy about. I say unhappy, there's a smile on his face, but quite obviously didn't agree with the decision. Just a little nudge in the back from Hernandez that sent him to the ground.
Hernandez with one and Liao with two in that 3-0 reverse fixture victory for Milan. Although Spezia in that game were stubborn opponents, it took Milan until nearly an hour to make the breakthrough. Couldn't quite get that pass out wide there towards Saponara, who did have some space on the left-hand side. Saponara now going over, and he wins a free kick for the foul by Dalot.
The door just cracked a jar, didn't it? Brief hint at a chance to really cause Milan problems. It was a miss-hit, really. The ball out to Saponara never came.
And Ricci, and now Estevez. All the way back with even Provedel, who's one of 4 goalkeepers who've been used by Spezia over the course of the season. Ricci. Bastoni. Saponara couldn't keep that ball in play.
Bright start, though, isn't it, by the home side? Spoke in the preamble before kick-off about their particular form at home and Milan's form on the road. I don't think that footballers going into a game would pay too much attention perhaps to the peripheral chat about runs and form, but take the game that's coming right in front of them as the most important thing, of course. But can't come away from the fact that we have seen a Milan team that's very good on the road, and Spezia that have left a lot to be desired on the home patch.
Peripheral chat which pays our bills, David. Here's Agudelo.
I don't think peripheral's a derogatory adjective. I just think it's an adjective. It's no less interesting for a big peripheral. The game being the main thing, of course, which is why I shall be silent for a couple of moments.
Here's Ismajli. Left by Gyasi, taken up by Vignali, looking to hold off the attentions of the out. Agudelo. Gyasi. Agudelo's got some room here. Still going through and maybe trying to take on one man too many. A slip there, opened the door, and then Kjaer came across.
He's got to get the shot off. It's imperative that when that chance arises that they attempt to take it. Just waited and waited, Agudelo, didn't he? Wanted to walk the ball into the net. It's rattled Milan, though.
It's very evident they're a team who are very capable on the ball, very assured in possession. They have the look of a team who are enjoying the game so far. They're not daunted by facing Milan. That's Bastoni's ball forward, touched away by Romagnoli. Salamaca's losing out there. Saponara onto Bastoni. Looking to drive beyond Dalot, and the Portuguese came in with a challenge. And the last touch came off the Spezia player, goal kick.
Bright, though, once again by the home side. This driving run down the left flank by Bastoni. This was the chance for Agudelo just a couple of moments ago. There's a split second here. Get the shot off. He just waits and he waits and he tries to glide through the rest of the Milan defence. Romagnoli, isn't it, that's lying prone on the floor. Simon Kjaer, his defensive partner, gets back and mops up. Split second chance by Agudelo there, which should have been taken.
He's got just the one goal this season, Agudelo. He's on loan from Genoa. Goal which came in a 2-2 draw at Parma back in October. He's just 22. Maggiore up against Kjaer, and he wins a corner off Kjaer.
Again, it's the left-hand side. Gets a big thumbs up, doesn't it, from the captain. Simon Kjaer and Romagnoli, the busy of the two defenders across the game so far. Vincenzo Italiano will be very happy with the way that his side started this game.
So here's the Spezia corner. It's come out to Saponara, good touch. Oh, that shot was a good one too. And it required saving by Donnarumma.
It was a really good turn and shoot, isn't it, by Saponara. Thought that perhaps was a heavy touch which would have taken him away from goal, but he shows the pace across the ground to get the shots off and really test Donnarumma.
A big early save when called upon there for the Milan keeper. There might be another test coming now. Another Spezia corner. In by Estevez. Near post defended by Chabot. Estevez in again. Looked like a handball there. And it has been given. It was spotted by the officials. Given against Gyasi.
Really is hammered towards Gyasi, isn't it? And if you're trying to define what makes a handball and arms in an unnatural position, I think over your head really does sum that up.
It's an examination, this, of Milan's defence in the early stages tonight. Bastoni with the free kick. It was a good one too. Touched on by Agudelo. It has gone out of play and behind, despite the efforts there of the Croat Martin Erlic.
Once again, really good pace on the delivery. Flat trajectory with real whip on it into the middle of the 6-yard box. It's a stern test, isn't it? Not only of what we expect from Milan during the course of a game, but if they are going to grind through the second half of the Serie A season to the title, then games such as this, periods in games such as this, they've really got to manage and weather the storm.
They won the last two, scoring 6 goals in the process. Recovering from that minor blip. Here's the out. Drop of the shoulder. Keen to link up with Ibrahimovic, but back comes Gyasi. Good covering from him. That minor blip for Milan, the home defeat to Atalanta, the cup defeats to Inter, but they've seen off Bologna and Crotone since then.
Well, they needed to get back to some sense of form and decent results, didn't they, given the games that you mentioned earlier on, Joe, that are coming up on the horizon for them.
Vignali's ball forward. Hernandez. To hear his cry of pain there as he was robustly blocked off by Estevez.
Been very much a feature, hasn't it, of professional football that we watch with no crowds in. You hear the anguished cries of players that appear to be in real pain, and several seconds later they're up and ready to go again. That's me not casting aspersions on whatever pain they are feeling, but it's really part of the soundtrack, isn't it, without fans in a stadium.
It's been a shame for Spezia not to have supporters along the way this season. It's been a terrific journey for them in their first season playing in Serie A. Their big scalps have been away from home, really. Win at Sassuolo last weekend came against the odds. They also won at Napoli a few weeks ago. 3 wins out of the last 6, all told. 21 points in 21 games so far. If they keep going at that rate of point per game, they will surely be safe this season.
The maths really is working in the favour, isn't it, given how well they've accrued the points in the opening portion of the season that we've seen. Really does stand them in good stead for if a potential blip does come, or if trickier times appear. The tough games means that points are accrued, then they're going to get ahead of themselves enough to make sure that come next season they're very much still in the Serie A conversation. Given what we've seen from Milan so far, it's been quiet from several players. It's probably the first time I've heard Calhanoglu's voice been mentioned. It was by, I remember, the coaching staff, wasn't it, to either get him on the ball or keep him quiet, as has been the case so far.
It's Ismajli. Spezia defence. One of the players coming in this evening, the Albanian. Actually sent off on his last start in Serie A, that win at Napoli last month. Estevez. Vignali. Also been sent off in recent times. He was dismissed after only 8 minutes of the home match against Torino last month, but his teammates hung on to draw the game 0-0.
They need more from that man, don't they? Zlatan, so many times in tight games he's been the difference. So many times he's been relied upon and come up with the goods and really been somebody that they can count on.
Hernandez audible again here as he was bumped into once more, this time by Gyasi. There is Calhanoglu, but he's lost out. Agudelo for Spezia. Now it's Saponara. Estevez. Ricci. Ball there by Erlic, up to Saponara. Bastoni. Now a chance to break away for Milan. This is Dalot. There's no flow or rhythm yet about the Serie A leaders tonight.
No, there lots of change. Made little tweaks, haven't they? Leao started on the left, has moved over to the right. He spent the best part of the last 5 or 6 minutes over there. I don't know whether that's a ploy or whether he's just been stuck over that side of the pitch and he's just meandering his way back. Still, though, it's a white wall that's been put up in front of Milan and it's holding firm so far.
Leao looking to release Ibrahimovic. As he mentioned, you can hear Calhanoglu's name being mentioned. I think it's by Italiano, the Spezia coach, suggesting that Ricci, the Spezia number 8, is the player who needs to keep a close eye on him. Had a few weeks on the sidelines, Calhanoglu, but 7 assists since the start of December alone. Quite some number for the Turk. Last start in Serie A came at the start of January, the home defeat to Juve. Here he is now. Give it away to Ricci.
Very composed, isn't it, by Spezia? Front Kessler there went pressing but went on his own, so got easily passed around.
There as well, and it forced Donnarumma to come out and deal with that. 1 game short now of 200 in his Serie A career. Gianluigi Donnarumma. His contract expires this summer. Lots of talk again this week about an extension for him, and talk about a massive pay rise. He's become a real leader at the club and one they want to hang on to. Hernandez resting with Agudelo. Now, who fouled who? Agudelo is deemed to be the guilty man.
That's exactly what he's got to keep doing, isn't he? He's been a nuisance, a pest, if you like, for Spezia all across the Milan backline. Really is asking questions of Hernandez and Romagnoli. Presume that was Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, I think so.
You're going to stab in the dark. There's unmistakable eyes.
Somewhere beneath all the layers of clothing on this cold night in the northwest of the country. The free kick's been won here. Theo Hernandez fouled for Milan.
It was a late and a wild one, isn't it? Painful one for Hernandez. Don't think there's anything remotely sinister in the action, really, by what the referee's trying to deem to be any form of intent. Vignali was a man that swung, looking to clear the ball, and Anders put himself in the way of the swinging boot.
There was a yellow card for the Spezia fullback. It's the first real time of the game, though, where Milan can commit some bodies forward. And here Provedel organising his defence. Romagnoli and Kjaer up there to attack it, and Anders in the mix too. This is where Calhanoglu can come into his own. Here goes Calhanoglu. It's a real waste of a set-piece chance, that.
It's a poor game, isn't he? In 23 minutes, haven't been remotely productive for Calhanoglu. Poor delivery into the box there. He's given the ball away several times. Zlatan really is trying to get the point across, isn't he, to Calhanoglu? He knows he can offer more. He knows he's been giving more when he's been on the pitch, demanding more from the players around him, Calhanoglu in particular.
It's been a flat start midway through the first half from Milan. Hoping to take advantage of a tough weekend for their title rivals. We've seen Juventus lose away at Napoli, and Inter host Lazio tomorrow. Salamakis. Was fouled there eventually by Bastoni. And now that's both Spezia fullbacks on yellow cards.
Possibly look at the two bookings that have been given and file them under harsh, because Bastoni's trying his best, isn't he, to get back. Is it a pull of the shirt? Not really. It's a genuine attempt to try and play the ball, isn't it, on Salamakis, another player that we barely mentioned in the opening half of the first half. Oh, this is a slightly tenuous argument, isn't it, if you say it's your first foul? But I think he's got a point there, Bastoni. He's gone to try and win the ball back. It's no tug of the shirt at all.
It's the booking which will mean a ban for Bastoni. He will miss the trip to Fiorentina next weekend. So Calhanoglu is poised again. Can he improve his service this time? Calhanoglu with the free kick. Oh, flicked on by Hernandez, and not too far away.
That's much better free kick, isn't it, from Calhanoglu? More what we're used to from that particular point on the pitch. And there's the man that climbs above everyone else. Relatively free header, wasn't it, inside the 6-yard box?
Still gets a force of save from Provedel. There's Kjaer for Donnarumma. Produced that fine stop to deny Saponara earlier in the half. Milan, who dropped points in only 6 of their 21 games in Serie A so far this season. Winning 15, losing only 2, those home setbacks against Atalanta and Juve last month. In the eyes of many, their pursuit of a title this season has been one of the biggest surprises in the sporting world over the past 6 months or so. The resurgence of a footballing giant. They are to go all the way and win that title again. It's games like these when you have to dig at performances and dig at wins. Certainly a great opportunity that they've played themselves into, isn't it? And you look at
what's happening with Juve. More and more as you see them over the course of the season, it feels a bit more transitional than perhaps they presumed it would be, with Andrea Pirlo coming in and taking the reins. Has been theirs to lose, hasn't it, for such a long period of time. And even when Cesare moved on after winning the title, it wasn't deemed to be won in the right manner, which I always thought was a little bit harsh. But they are very demanding. They have huge standards set at that particular club, but it really is a fascinating fight at the very top of Serie A. Of course, Inter and Napoli with the victory today against Juve.
Gyasi with the ball in here. Inter are still the favourites, even though they're 2 points behind at the moment. Gyasi. Agudelo. Nice ball, back to Saponara. Chance to shoot maybe for him. Eventually it's blocked away by Dalot.
Wasn't really a chance to shoot, but a split second where a more cynical player may have looked to have gone down. There was a dangling of a leg by Dalot, which was there to be tripped over by Saponara, but we congratulate him for staying on his feet and attempting to get the shot off.
Player who joined on loan from Fiorentina last month, Riccardo Saponara, scored a sublime goal in the Coppa Italia against Roma a couple of weeks back. Back from a ban tonight, having been sent off after coming off the bench in the home's defeat to Udinese a few weeks ago, and he picked up 2 yellow cards in the space of 5 minutes and was straight off again. Benacer. Donnarumma. Inviting some pressure here, Milan, and given away by Kjaer. Saponara. Good high press from Spezia. Maggiore. Cross is deflected. Hernandez with a very cute touch there. Back to Kessie. Now Ibrahimovic. Sweeping counter-attack here from Milan. Salamakers. Now it's Leao. Leao's ball in and put away and behind for a corner by Estevez, but that would have been quite something. Playing out from a dangerous area there, Milan, and going end-to-end.
That's Hernandez, isn't it, the man that started it off with a nice back heel to front Kessie. He's the man that's looking to get on the end of the ball into the 6-yard box from Leao. Really high speed, sweeping move by the away side. Brightest we've seen them in the course of the game so far.
Milan's first corner. Taken by Çalhanoğlu. Onto Romagnovi's head. Difficult there because he was just in front of that near post. So getting back on target, not easy, but it's a half chance again.
Yeah, angle really working against him. A little far in front of the near post to be able to get it back on target to really try and test Provedel.
Captain who's chipped in with just the 1 goal this season. It's Fiorentina in the home win back in November. Half an hour in, a goalless opening half an hour at the Stadio Alberto Pico. Milan becoming slightly more dominant now as the game goes on, but they have been a bit loose with possession at times. Here's Estevez. Bastoni. Salamakers tracking back.
It's a bit of a sweeping statement, but when you do see in games such as this, with teams such as Milan, that your star man starts to go wandering. I think you saw Zlatan there, pulled out in a deep wide left position. He's quite obviously frustrated that he's not seen enough of the ball as yet. His teammates struggling to find him.
Saponara foul there by Çalhanoğlu. Spezia free kick in a good area here.
Quite clearly understand what Maggiore's saying to the referee. The point that he's making is we've seen 2 yellow cards, of course, for the Spezia fullbacks, which, when you're trying to judge and quantify the foul that you've just seen there, that certainly does fit the remit of what the referee's awarded a yellow for so far this season.
Looks a wee bit concerned, Stefano Pioli.
He's look concerned, doesn't he? It's the one thing he doesn't look, he's cold. He's brave in the elements, isn't he? There, not batting an eyelid.
Three-man wall lined up here for Milan. It's Estevez. And they're away by Ibrahimovic. Ricci. Vignali.
Manu, non subito difensore, Manu. Buon, va.
Here's Dalot.
It's a really good, composed, organised way of pressing, isn't it? You mentioned a few minutes ago, Joe, the high press won the ball back, and it absolutely did, but just in that particular moment they put the brakes on, they waited, they didn't go chasing to pull themselves out of position. Again, another situation here which is drawing frustration from not only Zlatan Ibrahimovic but the rest of his teammates and the coaching staff. It's quite clearly a foul, isn't it?
You mentioned those records he's chasing tonight. He could be the oldest man to reach 15 goals in the Serie A season. He knocked his one here. He also has the chance to score against an 80th club. That's 80 in Europe's top 5 leagues.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? We know the mystique of the man and the character and the personality, but really does have the statistics to back it up. With mental strength as well, given the injuries in recent years that he's managed to work through and get back from.
There's a bit of argy-bargy here going on involving Estevez of Spezia. He's been told to calm things down by the referee. Nothing much in that, though. Ibrahimovic beaten there pretty comfortably by Ismajli, and the flag's up too against Zlatan. Becoming more frustrated as the game goes on.
Yeah, he's not happy with the supply line. A couple of balls up to him that are asking quite a lot. Granted, that does take a bit of a deflection on the way through. Loads the odds in the favour of the defender to come through and nick it off him, but they've marshalled the Starman so far so well after 35 minutes.
Well, Milan were patient last weekend in that home win against Crotone. It took them a while in the first half to create the opening goal. A lovely 1-2 it was between Leao and Ibrahimovic. It's Mario Mandzukic up in the stands on the Milan bench tonight. Salamakis. Benacer. Intervention was by Vignali. That's Estevez, and now it's Agudelo. Gyasi. Agudelo. Saponara. In first time by Bastoni, just too high for Gyasi. Vignali's backing up, but Hernandez was strong there. Gyasi. Lost by Ibrahimovic. Maggiore. Saponara. Maggiore. Chance to shoot for him. Not the dip he was looking for, though.
Nice idea, just the wrong execution, wasn't it, by the captain? Just cuts inside Maggiore, just looking for the top of Donnarumma's goal. Not really troubled the goalkeeper in the last 10 or 15 minutes. That smart save that we saw very early on. Other than that, it has been a very good half, but he's not been overly busy.
Ibrahimovic. Now Leao skipping beyond Vignali, has to be careful on a booking. Poked out by Martinovic. Hernandez with a throw-in. Gyasi. Hernandez. Ibrahimovic peeled away. Dalot was there too, but maybe a chance to break away now for Spezia. He can commit some bodies forward. A big switch of play out towards Agudelo, and a fine pass too for the Colombian. Took it well. Agudelo. Estevez now, and it's a very important block by Romagnoli. The skipper back in the nick of time for Milan.
It was a really good break, wasn't it? Filled with quality. Fantastic raking crossfield ball. Good first touch by Agudelo. Almost lost his footing once again, but just waited, delayed to have Estevez come on his right-hand side. Once again, we see Spezia with Milan push back onto the ropes.
Estevez with the ball in, dropping into a good area too, and flicked out by Kjaer. Estevez can try again. That one's high and hanging. And catching practice for Donnarumma.
Very quickly given up though, wasn't it, by the Spezia players? It would have been a tough one if there'd have been a challenge to be had by the defenders that had been left up there, up against Donnarumma.
Spezia certainly posing a threat here tonight, and they're doing all this without their top scorer, Dalot and Zoet, who scored 9 goals in the first half of the season. A tremendous return from the Angolan, who was actually linked with a move away off the back of that in the winter window with an ankle issue. They've improvised well in his absence.
The real impression that you get from Spezia is quite obviously a team that's greater than some of its parts, but a real togetherness in the way that they go about what they've been asked to do today. There's been a discipline to the pressing, there's been a real thought behind when to go and when to stay, real composure and possession, and a fearlessness when it comes to getting the ball forward, not unnecessarily at risk, but taking the chances when they do come.
Ball there by Ricci, and well taken by Saponara, who lost his footing. This is Dalot, loanee from Manchester United. Touchdown by Ibrahimovic, come his way again. Now it's Çalhanoğlu. 3 defenders around him. Salamakers now. Gyasi attacked the near post. The effort was by Benacer, and a tame one.
Yeah, it was a long way out, wasn't it, by Benacer, trying to take it on the volley. Front Gyasi was the man that went in for the original header. Zlatan Ibrahimovic starting off the move by springing into action. The ball drilled in, but once again well defended. Erlic, the man there, sending the ball back away from his goal.
It's drilled out towards Saponara, but too much on it. No attempts on target so far in the game for Milan as we approach half-time.
Certainly got things to address, hasn't he, Stefano Pioli, at half-time with his players. I'm sure there'll be discussions going on. I'm pretty certain that Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be the man that's leading the inquest at half-time to try and get more out of his players. They've got to lift their tempo, they've got to lift their intensity. We have seen on occasion, though, well, more than one occasion, of course, over the course of Serie A season, where Milan have been asked questions, they've toiled in games, but managed to come out on the right side of the 3 points.
Vignali with a foot in there. Danny Wentworth replaying the advantage. Ricci. Estevez. Gyasi can't keep that ball in play.
Occhio uomo. Giulio, ci vai dopo su Kjaer. Vai, tu. No. Dai, Teo.
Sloppy once again, isn't it? Von Kesterman giving the ball away needlessly, giving it back to Spezia to enjoy more unchallenged possession, comfortable across the back line. It's certainly been the key to the foundations that this performance so far has been built on. No goal obviously as yet, but they have had, or shaded shall we say, the best of the chances.
Lovely play here by Agudelo. Saponara. This is Bastoni. To look towards the offside flag, which is up.
It's a nice interchange, hasn't they, going forward down the left-hand side. Agudelo once again turning Romagnoli. That's the advantage of being that player that's not necessarily the stereotypical number 9, the false 9 as we call him. He's coming short, which drags Romagnoli out of that pocket of space within the Milan back four. Fantastic player, Romagnoli, but he doesn't want to go chasing Agudelo around and come out of his team shape.
Agudelo, who was on loan with Fiorentina from Genoa for the back end of last season. He played a handful of games, but he's been enjoying far more game time this year with Spezia. And he's proving to be an awkward opponent for the Milan defence tonight, as they are as a collective as well. Coming towards half-time and still goalless. Play restarting here with a drop ball, and Benacer finds Kjaer. Romagnoli, his third year now as Inter's captain. Benacer. Hernandez. It's a poor layoff by Leao, who's not been involved in the game at all. Saponara. Coming towards half-time. Vignali. Gyasi. Estevez takes over. Vignali now on the overlap. Chance to cross for him into a good area too, and it's put away and behind by Dalot, but there's no time for the corner. So we reach half-time with a goalless scoreline here, and it's been Spezia who have been mighty impressive, the new boys in Serie A this season. On several occasions they have rocked the Serie A leaders, Milan, and it's a goalless scoreline at the half-time break here. It is Spezia 0. So we're back underway. It is Milan who starts off the second half at the Stadio Alberto Pico, being held to a 0-0 scoreline halfway through the game here tonight. Spezia on the front foot again here with Riccardo Saponara. Team David, who played very well so far, Spezia, but the onus now really is on Milan to up the ante.
Got to come out with more intensity in the second half, and not only that, quality has been sadly lacking from a side that is quite obviously sat at the very top of Serie A, but Spezia's work ethic, the way that they've gone about their team shape and the containment of AC Milan, it's not just been a defensive remit though, they've gone forward as they are doing now.
Here's Saponara. Good feet here to try and find a way through. Eventually he was tackled by Dalot. But Dalot coming in at right back in for the suspended Calabria tonight. Saponara bright and busy again to win it back. Dalot with the block. Came back towards Maggiore. This is Agudelo. Estevez now. Vignali in the attack. Saponara's hit, and he caught it very well indeed. It was blocked by Dalot. Was flying on target.
Again, the carrying on, where they left off in the first half. Applying real pressure to Milan. Real feature of what we saw in the first half was the way that they went pressing the visitors. Something that Milan did struggle with in the Atalanta game, of course.
And they're committing so many players forward here, Spezia. They won a free kick now. Maggiore caught there by Benacer. And again here, Milan looking a bit rattled defensively.
We saw several times, didn't we, over the course of the first half, decent set piece deliveries from Bastoni and Estevez. Once again being called upon to do exactly the same.
Ricci up there, who scored his first goal for the club at Sassuolo from a set piece last week. Bastoni with the free kick. Picked out by Galabinov. This is Ricci. Can't maintain that pressure for Spezia. Just wonder whether they can maintain this level of energy throughout the game. Lots of players in their team experiencing Serie A football for the first time this season. The coach Italiano did say a few months ago that he felt that they were taking time to adjust to the exertions of Serie A football, but they looked the part tonight.
Well, it does sometimes benefit a team, doesn't it, that comes up, and that fearlessness that comes with promotion and sampling Serie A. Yes, obviously working the loan market, of course, helps with quality coming into the side, but the upswing and the positive feeling of being part of a side that's got promoted. You mentioned earlier on, Joe, yes, they are playing in front of empty crowds and empty stadiums. There's an oxymoron for you, empty crowds, but given what we've seen from them, you just wonder how well they would have done with a crowd in, really backing the side, really following them, real noise and passion.
Saponara the ball there towards Gyasi. They've also had to negotiate a massive list of injuries this season. It's 34 players they've used in Serie A, more than any other side. They've got a team ethic, a collective spirit. Well, they start the game 6 points above the bottom three, 6 points above Kjaer in 18th spot. They host Atalanta tomorrow, Parma and Crotone, the two sides beneath them in the bottom three. Ibrahimovic going down there, and the cry of pain maybe is what won the free kick. I think he'll be okay.
Erlic's not too happy, is he, with the awarding of the foul? Again, it's tough to see, perhaps, what the referee's seeing there. Yes, as they're coming together, it's nothing other than a clumsy collision between two players. Does he give it if it's not Zlatan? Possibly not.
Well, Spezia will feel very hard done by if something comes from this. And Provedel in the Spezia goal, yet to make a save so far, but no attempts on target in that first half from Milan. Chabot is poised here. And there's there an option with the left foot too. Ibrahimovic in and around the wall as well, making his presence felt. That might be the gap that Chalanola will aim for. The ball does the job required of it. Salamakis. That was by Maggiore.
Happy, isn't he, Stefano Pioli? And he's a player that has created plenty of goals, hasn't he, for his side, and clearly a talented player, but Chalanola is just having one of those games at this moment.
Milan have dropped points in just one away game this season. 2-2 draw at Genoa back in December. Gyasi, Ricci. Saponara, header on towards Bastoni, defended by Benacer. Maggiore, there's Bastoni, and some confusion there between goalkeeper and captain. Danger was averted though for Milan, but not for long. Here comes Spezia again. Maggiore, away by Kjaer that time.
A couple of occasions which has been quite refreshing to see, the slight naivety, if you like, with the Spezia approach. A couple of times where Maggiore was the one in the most recent situation where he gets in and beyond the Milan defence, and there's a chance maybe to draw a little bit of contact, to buy a foul if you like, but elects to stay on the feet and continue the move and see where it leads. I think that's reflected really well across the Spezia side.
Gyasi, Agudelo, Bastoni, and turned away by Kjaer. That shot may have been going off target. Kjaer wasn't to know and put it behind for a corner.
It was dragged, wasn't it, to the left foot Bastoni, but Diego Dalot here. Does he go out and close it down? Just stands there with his arms behind his back. That's not defending, that's just hoping for the player to miss.
Very strong start to the second half by Spezia. Agudelo, Kessie tied to his back. Agudelo still looking to forage a way through, but no joy. Benacer, now Salamakers. Can Milan break away now? They can't. Given away again. Gyasi, Saponara. Gyasi goes on. Cut back into a very good area. Just no one there to attack it. Milan being penned in here. Saponara. Back goes Dalot. That's Kjaer. It's all very awkward, all very uncomfortable for Milan. Saponara now. Estevez. Blocked by Chabot.
Chaotic, isn't it, from Milan's point of view, defensively. Really looking rattled. Cracking ball, whips across the face of the 6-yard box, which no Spezia player had gambled on getting on the end of.
You've got to admire what Spezia are doing here. Ruffling Milan's feathers tonight. It's Benacer. Now Romagnoli. Hernandez. This is Ismajli. Was fouled by there.
Just alleviates that little modicum of pressure that Milan were building up. It was a late chance by Leao, wasn't it? Clumsy.
Hernandez. Agudelo, terrific again. It's got past two. Space to move into. He's put it wide for Gyasi. Back for Agudelo. Ricci's going through now. And there's Maggiore. Spezia get the goal they deserve. Scored by their captain, Giulio Maggiore. The new boys in Serie A this season. They've been giant killers this season. And they put the leaders behind tonight.
It's nothing less than the home side deserve, is it? They've been absolutely superb for 56 minutes of this game. And this is a glorious goal. Begins with the industry, the effort of Agudelo to rob the ball back off Hernandez and then drive really at the heart of the Milan defence. thought that ball to Gyasi had been overhit, but it wasn't. It came back to him, third man run, which allows the ball to be presented at the feet of Maggiore. A very, very easy tapping for the player after great work from Ricci, from Agudelo. Captain in the right place at the right time. Fantastic piece of football. They deserve the touch of fortune with the ball being tackled towards the feet of the Spezia skipper. They've been a delight to watch so far this evening, and they thoroughly deserve that opening goal.
Well, they've had some standout results, some standout moments so far this season, but that might just top the lot. If that's the goal that beats Milan tonight, a long, long way to go, of course. But that's something very special for Spezia fans watching on tonight. And now a real test of Milan's character. They've been so far off the pace tonight. Can they turn things around? They've got a free kick here. Spezia players feeling very aggrieved at that verdict. A yellow card was shown too by the referee.
I think perhaps the point that the Spezia players are making is that cautions that have been given so far all gone against Spezia, haven't they? Two players there that have got hold of each other. Erlic is the man that's tasked with the sizable challenge of getting to grips with Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Erlic in the book, a suspension looming for him now as well.
It goes into what you were saying, Joe, when you're talking about how well Spezia are doing this season. You've alluded to players that are out with injury. Now they've got a couple of players that are going to miss the next match through suspension.
They've got three at the back four now on a yellow card. They're going to have to just maintain that discipline in the remaining half an hour or so here tonight. Ibrahimovic steps forward, but still can't find a way through. And in again there by Dalot. Liao. Hernandez. Gyasi went back there. There's Estevez. Now Agudelo. Maggiore scoring his first ever goal in Serie A. What a moment for him. Here's Bastoni. Now Saponara.
There's a real belief in the way that they approach the first half, and that's grown with that opening goal going in. Really well constructed goal by Agudelo.
Bastoni. It's Maggiore again. Kjaer with the header. He defied the shout there of his goalkeeper. Saponara to Ricci. Bastoni. Ricci. Lots of space well there. Hernandez with the header away.
Again, there
with the clearance.
Sorry to interrupt you, but a split second there with the feet and the movement. You're looking at perhaps a more seasoned approach to Serie A, where you're looking to go down and gain a penalty. Again, I'm not trying to say that you should have players throwing themselves to the floor, but it's a real reassuring earnestness, isn't there, about the way that they're approaching not only this game but the season as a whole.
They're winning many fans. The referee, perhaps not one of their fans at the moment, giving a few things against them, and there's that collective feeling of aggrievement from the Spezia players. They spent 8 seasons in Serie B before coming up last season. They came up via the playoffs. Playoffs which finished at the back end of August, so they only had just over a month to prepare for life at this level. And it's no wonder, given some of the scalps they've taken over the course of the campaign, that the coach Vincenzo Italiano has been spoken of very highly and in the frame potentially for other jobs around in Serie A. Which would be a massive feather in his cap if they can win here this evening, but again, a long way still to go here.
Can have a sore throat by the end of this, isn't he, Hernandez?
Benacer. Liao. That's Dalot. That's Salamanca's. Dalot with the cross. And off the chest of Ricci. It's going to be a corner. It's going to be a call for Mario Mandzukic to enter the fray for Milan.
Oh, something needs to change, doesn't it? So many players there that we've barely mentioned. I don't think we've heard from Salamanca's in the second half at all. That's possibly the first time you've mentioned him, Joe.
Got a corner here. Flicked on near post by Kessie. Kessie then with the touch, maybe a high foot, and it has been given that way. Estevez going down.
I think we're going to see as well very shortly Milan flexing the muscles from the bench, aren't they? Because something needs to change. Stefano Piola not happy at all with what he's seen over the course of the game. Needs something extra from his side. Needs an injection of something, of quality, of star power, of energy, intensity, all the fundamentals that have got to be there week in, week out if this side does have aspirations of making sure they end the season top of the pile. They've been found wanting in a game such as this. Yes, we're talking about a disparity between the two sides, but we're talking about teams in the same division, of course. What Spezia have done so well is play extremely well off their own bat, but also made Milan look extremely ordinary.
Well, the response will be a triple change, it would appear here. The only surprise it's taken this long to make changes for Milan. But Leao, Benacer going off, Mandzukic coming on, so too Sualiho Meite, the French midfield player who did start the game last week. Mandzukic coming on for his fourth appearance for the club, having returned to Serie A last month. And also coming on for Kjaer Tomori in defence. Kjaer departing. So wholesale changes here all over the pitch in Pioli.
He certainly needed something to change for his side, and he's gone for the personnel route, hasn't he? Getting players onto the pitch that he feels will be able to affect the game.
Well, now then, down goes Saponara. The referee has given a free kick just outside the box. There was certainly a moment there where you thought it might be a penalty. That's the point being made by the Spezia players now, and VAR will double check it.
He's been superb this evening, hasn't he, Saponara, driving into the box, and it's got to be a penalty, surely. There's another referee's adamant about pointing where he feels the foul has taken place, but look at that, that's got to be a penalty. Talking about the fine margins, obviously, if he's looking at perhaps where the initial contact does occur, but that's a fluid movement. That's Saponara being brought down as he goes into the box.
Yeah, if the contact continues into the box or continues on the line of the penalty area, it's a penalty.
That's got to be a penalty. How on earth are they looking at this and not saying that that's a penalty?
Well, Paolo Mazzoloni is the VAR official. And it would appear as though he is content that we should stick with the referee's verdict of only a free kick, which is bemusing to say the least. A bit of fortune for Milan, but there will be a Spezia free kick.
Even by, I mean, just look at where that free kick is. I don't understand. You can't obviously award it on the line, because that then means that that foul occurred in the millimetres and finished in the millimetres before you get to the 18-yard box. That's impossible.
And it's a contentious moment. Dalot in the book. Here's the free kick. Laid back for Bastoni! What a fantastic hit! It is 2-0 Spezia! What a sensational strike! And a sensational scoreline. Spezia lead Milan by 2-0, and they're on course for a famous win.
Well, the scoreline might be surprising, but given what we've seen from the performance, none of this is a surprise at all. Spezia have just been fundamentally, across the board, the better team in this game. 67 minutes in, 2-0 up, they absolutely deserve this. Yes, I sounded frustrated just a few moments ago. That has been diluted somewhat with justification, if you like, justice being served. It should have been a penalty, incorrectly was a free kick. Spezia, though, didn't mull over it, didn't feel hard done by, got on with the job, as they have done across the course of the game and the season. Donnarumma had no chance at all. It's a mountain to climb for Milan.
The cribis of Zlatan tells the tale. Simone Bastoni has scored his first goal since he was playing on loan in the third tier 4 years ago. That just sums up how far this Spezia team have come. And Milan here are shell-shocked.
We do have the real privilege, don't we, Joe, of taking in games such as this and reveling in the superstars and what they produce, but this Spezia side, I haven't seen bits of them over the course of the season. Across world football, there won't be too many people that know in depth exactly what they're about or the way that they're attacking Serie A, but if you've watched this game, if you've taken in what the home side have done, you'll have enjoyed every single minute of their approach. It's been just a joy to watch.
And you would think their best approach from now on in, the remainder of the game, is just to keep at it. If they sit back and defend, it might just invite danger and pressure. It's a Milan team which is there for the taking tonight.
I'm sure the opponents and the rivals watching on are revelling in what they're seeing. Maybe not the teams down towards the bottom third of the table, seeing how good Spezia have been and just what they're capable of, asserting themselves in this maiden season in Serie A. But if you're Inter, if you're Juve, maybe it takes a sting out of the defeat for Pirlo's men earlier on today, and they see if it does indeed end up with a Spezia win. Still plenty of time left for Milan to do something in this game.
Saponara, square towards Estevez. Gyasi. Vignali, poured away by Donnarumma. Zoet is in there now. Ricci looking to latch onto it for Spezia. And still the attack, and still they pose a threat, and then Hernandez is throwing that ball.
That's a foul.
Yeah, straight at Ricci.
The word is frustrating. I won't say what I was going to say, but it's very frustrating because Hernandez is bundled into the hoardings, then just literally thrown the ball at his opponent. The referees deemed it a second throw-in for Milan. Staggering, really, some of the decisions that we've seen.
The big winners in the title race today at the moment are the team that haven't played today. Juve losing away at Napoli. Milan losing here to Spezia. Inter, who play tomorrow, would have the chance to go top the way things stand, and go top before the derby next weekend.
It's a mouth-watering game, isn't it, given as well what we've seen between the two sides in recent times, as if it needed any more edge to it.
Ibrahimovic. He can't salvage anything there. Mandzukic is hobbling now, not long off the bench. In fact, Spezia's second goal coming not long after that triple change from Pioli. Here's Tomori.
I'd say it was a physical thing that perhaps saw Simon Kjaer depart the pitch, whether there was something pre-agreed before kick-off that he's going to play a certain portion of the game. Tomori has obviously come on and didn't seem to be, yes, there were obviously a goal down, but nothing glaringly obvious in the way that Romagnoli and Simon Kjaer were linking up.
Ricci, good ball to Maggiore. It's come off Tomori, it'll be a corner. So much of Spezia's bright football, the moments come through. Agudelo, who's been a joy to watch tonight, linking the play for them. Turns well and not afraid to charge at that Milan defence and find runners, and they have a corner now and a chance again to add to what is already an incredible lead. Bastoni takes the corner. It's more up than away by Chabot. Hernandez, Salamakers, won a free kick. Long ball up towards Ibrahimovic. Good strength there by Bastoni. It's a foul by Dalot.
It's good defending, wasn't it, by Bastoni? Maggiore then the man mopping up and drawing the foul. Really does tick into the portion of the game which is asking for that match management, isn't it? Making sure that they frustrate Milan. Stefano Pioli not happy at all with what he's seeing. He's been a constant blur of articulacy and movement there on the side of the pitch.
Interesting, we've not seen Spezia make a change yet in the game. I wonder whether a bit of freshness could be required from the bench just to keep this tempo up. Although, given the way they're playing, I suppose why would you change it? It's working perfectly at the moment.
I think that's a really good point, Joe, because you are looking at a side. We have talked about injuries that they're having to deal with, and bans, obviously.
They keep on coming. Here's Estevez. Agudelo. Maggiore. Robbed at the vital moment by Dalot.
What I was going to say, though, is that there'll be a real belief about this set of players, this starting 11, that feel that they can begin and complete the mission, taking the points off Milan.
There's a foul by Mandzukic, who's had no impact at all since coming off the bench. Salamakers. No foul given there. Agudelo. So well to keep his footing. Kessie losing out. Gyasi. That was a 50-50 encounter there, easily won by the Spezia player, which just sums up the game in many ways.
That was a real lack of commitment, wasn't there, from front Kjaer there to win the ball. Gyasi just nips ahead of him and whipped the ball away.
Salamakers, but no joy for him against Ismajli.
We saw again, didn't we, Agudelo with the ball at his feet in the box. Milan absolutely terrified of getting too close to him to almost preempt giving away a penalty. But to a man, looking at some real stellar performances across the board for the home side. Saponara, of course. Gyasi was the man that won the tackle against front Kjaer, the skipper. Maggiore has been fantastic as well.
Here's Maggiore again, who opened the scoring tonight. Watched by Tomori. Milan just so flat, but they can't have been complacent coming here, surely, given what Spezia have done in recent weeks. If there was an element of disrespect coming here, well, they're going to be made to pay for that the way it stands at the moment.
I think the concerning part about it is, I've not seen a real lack of effort or endeavour from Milan, just a real lack of quality. Maybe when Stefano Pioli's looking at what went wrong from his side, that would be the more concerning thing, because if there is a lack of effort, if there is a sense of winning the game before they've even set foot on it, that's quickly addressed by a very bright rattle of the cage, isn't it? That stands people to attention and players to attention. But if it's a game where the opposition, the lowly opposition, and I mean that purely in terms of where they are in Serie A, not in what they've shown us today here on the pitch, if it's just the opponents being better, then aspirations of winning Serie A have got to be seriously thought through and addressed going into the remaining games.
Remember, they have that trip to Serbia to come in midweek before the derby next weekend. Ibrahimovic, Smete, Salamakas. It's a free kick to Milan. Now this will be a chance to commit some players forward and try and get themselves one back.
It's imperative that the quality coming in is of a decent standard. Estevez maybe just a bit lucky here, because he quite clearly moved his arm towards the ball, didn't he?
The collective unit from Milan not working tonight. Maybe a piece of individual brilliance could turn the game back in their favour again. And Hakan Çalhanoğlu had a pretty poor game, but we know he can produce a fine set piece. Here's his ball in. Now then, Ibrahimovic has gone down there. Looks towards the referee. He's claiming his arm was being pulled. VAR will have a look.
Certainly being paid close attention, isn't he? It's a lot of coming together inside an 18-yard box when a ball does get delivered from a set piece. Is it enough to send Zlatan to the floor? Don't possibly think so, but given what we see penalties awarded for in this day and age, it doesn't necessarily mean that that has to be the case, does it? It doesn't have to be a forceful shove to the ground, but the referee listening, being talked through perhaps what he may have missed or assessed wrongly in the first instance, hasn't been told to look at it anymore.
Nothing in it, and on we go.
It's more hopeful already, wasn't it, from Zlatan?
Just over 10 minutes of normal time to go. 10 minutes separating Spezia from a famous win. Also a win which will be so valuable in terms of points for them. They'll open up a 9-point gap above the relegation zone tonight. In the eyes of many, it was a miracle that they came up last season. So it would be a miracle if they were able to survive this year, but they're going the right way about it.
He's been superb, hasn't he? Agudelo, so comfortable with the ball at his feet. There's so much for the side going forward to alleviate pressure, not only alleviate that pressure, but really pile it on the Milan defence.
Still no changes been made by Spezia. The next change, the fourth one coming up for Milan. James Hager, the young Norwegian, is the player who'll be coming on shortly. Here's Hernandez. Tackle by Ricci. Vignali. This will be Milan's first away defeat in Serie A for a full year. Their last away defeat outside the San Siro was in December of 2019 when they beat 5-0 against Atalanta. Here's Çalhanoğlu, not lost here yet. Mandzukic going in there, just poked away there by Saponara. Hernandez. Mete. Ibrahimovic going in with a challenge on the goalkeeper that has been penalised for dangerous play.
The first time that you would have seen Zlatan in that particular poise up in the air. Again, very, very good defending as a team by Spezia. This was the second ball into the box. Really brave goalkeeping by Provedel, who we've barely mentioned at all in the second half, and a man that really has had a rotten night. Shalanolu has been put out of his misery.
So Hager on, and Salamakers, who's not been much better, he's going off as well, and he's been replaced by Castillejo. Here is the first shuffle of the Spezia pack then, and Maggiore. It could prove to be an amazing night in his career. Scored the opening goal of the game. He's departing and being replaced by Gennaro Acampora.
He's been superb, hasn't he? Did exactly what you would want from a captain, led by example, got up and down the pitch, was the man that poked them in front from close range. Now it's up to Acampora to come on and make sure that they diligently get towards the 90-minute mark intact.
They might try and wind the clock down in substitutions. They've still got 4 more to make if they want to. Here's Hernandez. Gyasi went down there, but no foul was given. Hernandez looking to beat all comers. He's won a free kick now.
Really does offer something going forward, doesn't it, down the left-hand side? Hernandez not seen anywhere near enough of him offensively in the second half. Again, it's another very, very obvious foul that's not been given. It's been the discrepancy at times with the decision-making process. Yes, it's a tough job, isn't it, being a referee or an official? But sometimes favours aren't being done for themselves by missing the glare and the obvious.
Hernandez. Oh, it's just beyond both Ibrahimovic and Castillejo. "13 years ago, Spezia was a football club which was declared bankrupt. They rebuilt from the 4th tier of the Italian game. They've come a long, long way since then. Getting closer here to pulling off one of the biggest upsets in Serie A in many years. But no, there is still work to be done. There's a pained look there for the watching Paolo Maldini. An evening which beggars belief in many ways. Castillejo with the free kick. Not the best defensive header. Tomori went up there, and Hernandez in there too. Where's he going to fall? Good control by Ibrahimovic, but the offside flag is up.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Just plucks out the sky. One of the rare things that's gone right for Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Milan this evening. Nothing much to write home about given this performance. He's been frustrated, he's been marginalised, he's been underused going forward.
What a few days it's been for Spezia. New owners coming in this week. Big changes off the pitch. And on it, the players delivering tonight. Here's Agudelo. Now Saponara. Acampora.
Really intrigued to see what the manager makes of this performance and the result. Doesn't really pull any punches, does he, Stefano Pioli? Plenty to say with what he's seen with his own eyes here this evening.
It's going to be a corner off Dalot. There'll be no hurry now for Spezia. It's just when Milan seem to have momentum building again with the back-to-back wins over Bologna and Crotone. They come crashing down tonight. Bastoni goes short with the corner. Acampora. Could be a serious blow to Milan's title hopes. A very unexpected 1-2. Here's Maite. Can't quite find Hauger. Oh, lovely back heel there, Vignali. Tomori's tackle was very well timed. It had to be as well.
It was vital, wasn't it? Once again, showing real innovation going forward. A game that they have thoroughly controlled from very early on in the first half, Spezia.
Mandzukic nearly got there in front of Provedel. Although there was an offence there, the flag was up for an offside.
Once again, it's Agudelo, isn't it? Providing that little bit of magic. Fantastic challenge by Tomori. Vital. He timed it to perfection, which he did.
Milan have been so far beneath their best. Going to have to put this behind them pretty quickly.
Another voice that we've not tired of hearing. Vincenzo Italiano has barked orders, he's cajoled his team, he's encouraged, he's applauded them when they needed it, he's chastised them when they've let themselves down on a very few occasions over the course of the game.
Well, his stock is soaring as a coach right now. He's a man too, coaching in Serie A for the first time this season. Gyasi. Bastoni. Try and hold the ball up there down by that corner as we tick towards the 90-minute mark.
He's never stopped, has he, once?
Acampora fizzed in dangerously. Here's Gyasi. He wins a free kick. The big questions coming his way, and the answers will be fascinating. To try and pinpoint the reasons why this has happened tonight. It's a result that will send shockwaves through Italian football as we go into stoppage time, of which there are 3 minutes. That's a free kick for a foul on Mandzukic.
I'm happy with Mandzukic. Again, yes, it's clumsy, but I don't know how on earth you challenge for a header in that particular situation without using your arms for a little bit of leverage.
Well, can Milan find 2 goals in stoppage time to spare their blushes? A chance here for the free kick, taken by Castillejo. Mandzukic with the header. Well, that's the best chance they've had in the second half.
It's like curious as well, because I don't know whether Provedel thinks that this ball is running out. Look at the huge gap that he leaves at his near post. I don't know whether he thinks that that header is always going to go wide very easily, but only just misses, doesn't it? And the great thing as well in this, we saw Italiano and Stefano Pioli before the game warmly embrace and have a quick chat. You know that the Milan coach will be magnanimous in defeat because there's no other choice, has he, at all in this game? Comprehensively, thoroughly outplayed by the opposition. Don't really deserve anything as they return home.
0 attempts on target. is a quite remarkable stat. Another evening which just goes to show how much we love the unpredictability of live sport. Another fascinating evening in the title picture.
Again, we can't stress enough how deserved this particular result is. You mentioned no shots on target from Milan. Joe, it's 14 attempts for Spezia, which is phenomenal, really, isn't it? It's the game that they've approached with zero fear. Yes, they've respected their opponents. Yes, they've stuck to a game plan, but within that game plan, they've been allowed to express themselves, led by Agudelo, who's had a fantastic match at the very tip. Talk about false nine, he's the most false of false nines you're ever really going to see. But he has done so much for them going forward. Really created something for them to build on.
The inquest will centre on Milan. Oh, and there's a chance for a third goal, as Acampora was denied by the frame of the goal. That would have been some way to end it. It's all over. One of the biggest Serie A shocks for many years. Milan beaten, and beaten by a fantastic Spezia team. The Giant Killers strike once again this season. What a famous, famous win for them. The leaders beaten, and this could be a big blow in Milan's title charge this season. And well beaten too. A very tough night this for Pio.